This is New Time on Silkway TV channel. We introduce you with the most visible news and important events that happened throughout this week in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. More details on politics, economy, social and cultural life with opinions from the most recognizable experts of Kazakhstan and world. I am Anura Mangali and this is what you'll see today. Kazakhstan and China launched a large transport and logistics center in Xi'an. Would it help Kazakhstan to become a major transit hub in Eurasia? Kazakh Minister of Industry and Construction visited US to meet leading American companies in mining and energy sector. How will Washington and Astana cooperate in this field? Figure skating, gymnastics and swimming. Kazakh athletes grabbed medals at international competitions. All the latest achievements in the New Times Review. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev had a phone call with President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The head of state congratulated the Turkish leader on his 70th birthday. During the conversation, Tokayev and Erdogan also exchanged views on the development of Kazakh-Turkish strategic cooperation with an emphasis on expanding partnership in trade, economics and investments. Also, earlier this week, the Kazakh leader chaired a meeting of the National Security Council of Kazakhstan. The event addressed the implementation of the national security strategy. The head of state stressed the need for analyzing key security threats to Kazakhstan, considering the increasingly complex geopolitical situation in the world, as reported on the official site of Kazakh president. The Oskimen titanium and magnesium plant, which supplies raw materials and components to major global manufacturers such as Airbus, Boeing and General Electric, plans to undertake 25 investment projects worth $460 million. This was announced during working visit of President Tokayev to East Kazakhstan region earlier this week. Notably, the plant's products used in shipbuilding, energy, aerospace and oil and gas industries are exported to the USA, UK, France, South Korea and India.
The enterprise is advanced in many aspects. It possesses modern equipment. Kazakhstan holds a prominent position in the global titanium production market, and this enterprise accounts for 11% of global production. I can see that the atmosphere within the team is quite productive. The mood is good. Therefore, I wish everyone all the best.
Kazakhstan has moved a step closer to its goal of becoming a major transit hub in Eurasia. This Wednesday, transport and logistics terminal in Xi'an, China, was opened as part of a joint project. President Tokayev participated in the opening ceremony in Astana. My colleague Balzhan Samigulina will provide more details on ambitious opportunities that are present for Kazakhstan's transportation system.
Kazakhstan and China launched a large transport and logistics center in Xi'an, linking Chinese Shanxi with Kazakhstan, Central Asia and Europe. The terminal strengthened Kazakhstan's efforts to become Eurasian transit hub, since Kazakh exporters have now gained access to new markets. In his speech, President Tokayev noted that the construction of the facility was preceded by an agreement and successful cooperation between the two states.
Бұл бір белдеу, бір жол жаһандық бастамасы бойынша
This project is launched as a part of the global initiative Belt and Road. Kazakhstan fully supports the initiative which President Xi Jinping announced in our country in 2013. Thanks to this initiative, the construction of the center was completed in record time. All this is a result of the successful partnership between the two countries. This project will give a new impetus to the development of the Trans-Caspian International Transport Corridor and strengthen trade and economic cooperation in Eurasia.
Xi'an hosts China's transit center and the largest dry port, the location where 40% of container trains to Europe is being formed. Now the volume can be easily increased. After all, the annual capacity of the newly opened Kazakhstan terminal will reach 66.5 thousand containers per year.
I believe that within 2 or 3 years, Xi'an could handle up to 1,000 trains per year heading towards Kazakhstan or passing through our territory. Kazakhstan's terminal in Xi'an will serve as a consolidating point for Kazakhstan, and on the other hand, we expect our shipments to China or passing through China to reach Xi'an much faster, consolidate there and proceed to Chinese consumers.
3, 2, 1.
Модель искусственного интеллекта Пангу торжественно передана в Казахстан Темиржола.
There is another project being implemented jointly with a neighboring country. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has opened a new innovation center launched by Kazakhstan Railway National Company and the Chinese telecom giant Huawei. The goal of the project is to make the smart railway concept a reality. A CEO of Huawei Technologies Kazakhstan, Jay Su, stated digitalization the railway system would pioneer the vertical industries in Kazakhstan.
First of all, we're going to modernize the basic infrastructure that enables us for the further service in digitalization. And we're going to, of course, apply the AI technology to enable all the applications, various of the applications could support the future smart railway system. And that is what the AI all about.
American Wabtec, the Fortune 500 listed company, has also announced its readiness to expand digital partnership with Kazakhstan in the railway transportation sector.
Recently, there was a study done on the Kazakhstan Railways operational efficiencies. In 2016, KTZ's megawatt hours per day per locomotive was around 6 megawatt hours. Over the last years, this has been growing every year. And in North America, railroads are currently averaging 7.5 megawatt hours per locomotive per day.
According to Bayhan Gohan, Wabtec is also going to implement project utilizing trip optimizer technology and intelligent cruise control system for trains aimed at reducing fuel consumption and ensuring efficient rolling stock management. Notably, investments of Wabtec operations in Kazakhstan have already surpassed $100 million. Plans are underway to double the investment volume within the next 3 years. Balzhan Samigulina, New Time.
By 2024, Kazakhstan has significantly expanded its logistics capacities. According to the Ministry of Transport, the core of Kazakhstan's transportation and logistics potential consists of 16,000 kilometers of railways and 95.5 thousand kilometers of roads. Kazakhstan is crossed by 13 international transport corridors, including crucial transit routes such as the North-South Corridor and the Trans-Caspian International Transport Route. For the last 15 years, the volume of investments in the industry has reached $35 billion. It is noteworthy that in the past year, transit of goods through Kazakhstan increased by 21% compared to 2022, reaching 29 million tons. According to the development concept of Kazakhstan's transportation and logistics potential, the government aims to ensure a growth in the volume of cargo transit to 35 million tons by the year 2030. Kazakhstan intends to undertake transportation infrastructure projects covering 1.5 thousand kilometers worth over $3.5 billion, said Damir Kozakhmetov, CEO of Kazakhstan Railway Express, in an interview to the New Time reporter Balzhan Samigulina. Kozakhmetov also highlighted that from 2024, 19 block container trains have been dispatched along the Middle Corridor, 16 of which from New Kazakhstan Terminal in Xi'an. For more details about the country's railway transportation plans, please watch the fragment of the interview right now.
Damir, thank you for joining us. Glad to see you in our studio.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor, and I would like to explain more about logistics and what we're doing in Kazakhstan to promote it.
Thank you. Let us start from the joint project of Kazakhstan and China that was launched earlier this week. Our country has opened a terminal in dry port of Xi'an. How do you think it will increase Kazakhstan as the transit and logistic hub in the Eurasian region, please?
Thank you for this question. I think it is a very important project for Kazakhstan in terms of international presence of logistic companies in Kazakhstan logistic companies. So this opens up even greater prospects for Kazakhstan agrarians and exporters. Now they can send their cargoes directly in a short period of time. Significant effort have been made to stimulate the cargo flow and to increase the value-added change in agricultural industry. So we're ensuring the delivery of domestic agricultural products to the foreign markets will be more quality-based services, and it will increase the volume. So, and we will stimulate an increase in cargo flow from Kazakhstan to China and vice versa from China to Kazakhstan.
Apart from the terminal in Xi'an, how is Kazakhstan developing railway transport corridors, including the Caspian international transport route, the so-called Middle Corridor?
So, being a huge intercontinental state, our country is making serious efforts to become an international known transportation and logistic hub. Currently, about 95% of the transportation from China to Europe goes through Kazakhstan. And the development of the transportation and logistic industry is one of the key priorities of our country. I think over the past 15 years, more than $35 billion have been invested in the expansion and electrification of the infrastructure. So in the next few years, we plan to implement major projects with a total coverage of 1.5 thousand kilometers of transport infrastructure worth over $3.5 billion. So, and to develop the port infrastructure, we are now working on developing Aktau port and constructing new container hub with an area of 19 hectares. We are planning to reconstruct the berths and also restoration of oil loading berths. And as you know, this Caspian Sea now is the level of Caspian Sea is going low, and we are planning to make the dredging as well as upgrading the fleet of transshipment equipment.
How do you see the prospect of a middle corridor, the dynamics of demand for transit transportation through Kazakhstan?
So, as we're looking for history, so through middle corridor for 2023, cargo traffic reached around 2.8 million tons. It was a huge increase, around 86% compared to 2022. It's 1.5 million tons increase, growth. The plan for 2024 is about 4 million tons. The route currently offers competitive delivery time. It has been reduced from 54 days up to 11 days. And for now, as I can easily tell, that from January to 2024, we have sent around 19 container block trains from China to Europe through Middle Corridor, and 16 of them was sent through our Xi'an container hub. So I think now Middle Corridor is very interesting for all the exporters, importers, and even as a transit hub, Kazakhstan is doing well.
Thank you for sharing time with us. So hope to see you again.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Let's move on. Companies from Kazakhstan included to 13th round of anti-Russian sanctions have not been operating in exports and imports since last year. According to Sarek Ashitov, Deputy Director of the Department of Foreign Trade at the Ministry of Trade and Integration, Kazakhstan has maintained a constructive dialogue with the counterparts on this issue in advance. In the comment given to the New Time, trade official also emphasized that Kazakhstan remains vigilant in preventing its territory from being used to bypass the Western sanctions against Russia. Let me remind you that earlier one company from Kazakhstan was included in the EU and two of them in the US package of individual and economic anti-Russian sanctions list.
Thanks to constructive dialogue established between our countries, we were aware in advance of the intentions of our Western partners regarding the mentioned legal entities. However, it is important to emphasize that these two legal entities are not engaged in import and export operations. LM Group since May of last year and DA Group 22 since June of last year. In general, I would like to emphasize once again that Kazakhstan has not joined Western sanctions against Russian Federation, but we are taking all measures to ensure that the territory of Kazakhstan is not used to circumvent sanctions.
Meanwhile, Kazakhstan and the United States are deepening their connections in industry and geology. To this end, Ministry of Industry and Construction of Kazakhstan, Kanat Sharlapayev, held meetings with prominent American companies, including DFC, US KZBC, and the US Geological Survey. In particular, during the dialogue with Nisha Desai Biswal, Deputy Director General of DFC, talks focused on collaborative ventures such as constructing a Kazakh fertilizer plant, developing electric vehicle charging stations, establishing a container hub in Aktau port, and a logistics hub in western Kazakhstan. According to the commentary of Minister Sharlapayev to Kazinform agency, the parties also discussed strengthening cooperation in the field of critical minerals. Notably, Kazakhstan produces 17 of 50 types of critically important minerals on the US list.
Predominantly, we're now looking at the cooperation in the mining industry and the critical materials and the materials that are required for production of the green electric vehicles and developing the relationship with the American companies in the area of the energy transition. What we saw for the first time is a major American mining companies participating in this discussion, and the basis for that conversation is a very, very big interest in Kazakhstan as a supplier of critical materials to the global market, and critical materials specifically that are required for carbon transition.
And now Minister Sharlapayev is also heading to Canada as part of his official visit to attend the PDAC mining conference in Toronto. The Kazakh delegation has been participating in this event since 2005. PDAC is recognized as the premier global gathering for companies involved in mineral exploration, attracting up to 30,000 attendees from over 130 countries annually. The Canadian ambassador to Kazakhstan expresses optimism about the event, highlighting the significant potential for mining sector agreements between Kazakh and Canadian businesses.
We're really excited about the potential through PDAC. Last year in Toronto, Kazakhstan sent its largest ever delegation, and for the first time it had a Kazakhstan pavilion, really showing that they're trying to make a splash and really attract attention to what's possible in this market and build those partnerships and attract that investment. And I can tell you that the delegation going this year will be even bigger. So it's from record to record. Concretely, there are so many different areas that there could be progress between business to business. There are many possible agreements and outcomes from this visit. We're very optimistic.
The amount of international reserves in Kazakhstan has been gradually decreasing since 2020, as reported by the analytical center Hallik Finance. By the end of 2023, their volume reached $36 billion. This is enough to cover the country's 6 months import, which is twice the benchmark level, but lower than the values of many developing countries. International reserves are assets that the state used to cover external debt, maintain the exchange rate of the national currency, and conduct settlement operations with other countries. Considering the ongoing budget deficit and the increasing state debt, it's important to government to systematically assess international reserves to cover potential risks, said in the report's conclusion. Meanwhile, the National Bank has lowered the base rate to 14.75%. This marks the fifth reduction since August 2023, with the central bank's rate dropping by 2 percentage points during this period. According to the National Bank's chairman Timur Suleimanov, the main reason for the reduction of the base rate was the slowdown in inflation, which led regulatory authorities to soften monetary policy. Experts anticipate the rate cut will provide a slight stimulus to the Kazakh economy. Business loans will become more attractive for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. Kazakhstan has won a historic medal at the Junior World Short Track Speed Skating Championship in Poland. Alina Ashgalieva secured the silver medal in the women's 1,500 meters. This marks the first medal for Kazakh female athletes in the history of short track world championships. New Time reporter Dauren Isagulov is ready to highlight all the latest remarkable victories by Kazakh athletes. Please watch it right now.
This February has proven to be a fruitful one for Kazakh athletes, with medals pouring in across various sports. At the second stage of the Artistic Gymnastics World Cup in Germany, Nariman Kurbanov delivered an impressive performance, securing the gold on the pommel horse. Such a result positions him as a strong contender for the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris. Another big triumphant athlete is a figure skater Mikhail Shaidorov. The 19-year-old leader of the Kazakh men's figure skating team emerged as a champion at the Challenge Cup in the Netherlands, outshining 150 competitors. Despite his success in surpassing many top athletes, Mikhail speaks modestly about his victory. He mentioned that his focus now is on the upcoming 2024 World Figure Skating Championships.
Это был очень достойный турнир для меня,
It was a very significant tournament for me because I was able to showcase all of my skills and compete for the top spot against two Japanese athletes who are among the top competitors. One of them is even ranked higher than me, but that didn't stop me from taking first place. Winning competitions fills me with incredible pride for my country because we haven't had many figure skaters throughout history, but I hope to see more and more of them in the future.
Another athlete on the ice has contributed a historic medal to Kazakhstan's achievements. Kazakh short-track speed skater Alina Ashgalieva clinched the silver at the Junior World Championship. The competition took place in Poland, and Alina advanced to the final in the 1500 meters. This marks the first ever World Championship medal for Kazakh female athletes in the history of short-track speed skating.
It doesn't really matter to me whether I'm first, second or third female athlete in history. Still, it was unexpected, even though I believed in myself. I prepared thoroughly for this, and surprisingly, the mental preparation turned out to be the most crucial.
Meanwhile, in the Philippines, the 11th World Aquatic Championship has kicked off. On the very first day, the Kazakh national team secured an impressive 11 medals. Adelaide Pchelintseva, Ksenia Ignatova and Yegor Popov claimed gold in breaststroke and backstroke swimming. On top of that, at the World Indoor Athletics Championships, concluded in Iran this week, Kazakhstan claimed a remarkable 12 medals, including 4 golds. Seems like all these victories by Kazakh athletes are a promising sign for the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris. Daurian Sagulov, Ayman Kaymuldina, New Time.
And now we're joined by the ATP professional tennis player who represents Kazakh national tennis team, Dmitry Popko. Dmitry is making history by winning a series of international tennis matches, including recent ITF tournament in Naples, the US. Now the sportsman is gaining his status in the rank table of ATP. Dmitry, thanks for joining us. I'm just curious about your feelings, about your emotions after this very considerable victory at the recent ITF tournament in Naples.
Yes, thank you very much. Very happy with my wins. Yeah, of course, it will be huge improvement in the ranking. So I'm very glad that I won. I had some tough matches, especially in the final, and yeah. Hopefully, I will continue to play better and better.
Are you excited now for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in good shape, and I hope I will have many good weeks in upcoming months.
You started this year quite good, and I'm really interested about what is next. What will you focus on right now?
Right now, I need to focus a little bit to rest.
Of course, yes.
Because yeah, it was a difficult month, many matches, so I need to rest a bit, these few days at least. And but tomorrow I have to play again, so yeah, it's not much time to refocus.
Yes. What about the plans later this year? What other tournaments or matches are you planning to take part in?
Yeah, many tournaments ahead, so it's going to be many tournaments. I mean, for sure, season is long and many tournaments ahead. But my goal now to get into the French Open, so that's what I'm trying. That's why I'm playing many tournaments in a row.
Right. Okay. Maybe you want to say something, do something for your fans, for your supporters, especially those one from Kazakhstan. you have a chance to do it now.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone who is supporting, who is watching my matches, who is following me. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
Yes, and we wish you all the best in your professional career as well. Thank you very much again for your time. We very appreciate it. Thank you. Dmitry Popko, Kazakh tennis player, joined us from Argentina after his victory at ITF in Naples. Today, Kazakhstan switched to a single time zone, UTC+5. According to scientists, the UTC+6 time zone, which previously operated in some regions of the country, did not correspond to the natural time of day. Thus, most of Kazakh citizens have been living an hour earlier than its natural time for the past century. With all regions now unified under one time zone, Kazakhstan is on par with Maldives, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and some cities in Russia and Pakistan. That's it for today. All the main news about Kazakhstan and Central Asia you can find here. More special projects about our country you can also watch on Silkway TV channel. So stay tuned and see you next week.